And it's Georgia who get us underway, and Ireland don't deal with it particularly well, but Owen Redden cleans it up. Ireland have no scrum half, so Madigan will come in and play at 9. Zebo off in chase, and he's challenged by Basilia, the number 8, and Zebo slow to get back on the feet. Took a hefty knock in the collision with the Perpignan number 8. Watched it all the way.
Yeah, both players their eye on the ball, Basilia and Simon Zebo, big collision, and you would hope Zebo, he didn't get too many opportunities last week. I'm quite sure he'll be looking for more chances, but the scrum, a big area. This is where Georgia, it's their stock and trade, a bit like Argentina, very experienced front row there. Nariashvili, Mahmoud Kashvili and Kubriashvili, who start for Stade Francais for a number of years now.
Crouch!
Let's see, 25 times capped Bigadze, who put the ball in at scrum half for Georgia. And that is a good scrum from the Georgian team. And it's just not controlled particularly well at the back by Basilia, but did enough to make sure possession was maintained. Mahmoud Ashvili. That wasn't part of the game plan, I don't think. The winger popping up to take it, but it's a cross-field kick, and Felix Jones spills it forward, and a nervous enough start from Ireland, and that first scrum will give them food for thought.
Yeah, understandably so. I mean, you've so many changes up front, new combinations everywhere, a lot of talk about the scrum, but here Felix Jones, good opportunity from the Georgian out half. Kamaladze saw the space out wide, good kick, good competition in the air, but unfortunately Felix Jones unable to hold on to it. But that gives the Georgians another put into the scrum. Dave Kilcoyne up against Kubriashvili. They wouldn't have played against each other before, but I'm sure Kilcoyne, he recognises a big chance for him today with Cian Healy. Doubts about him for the Six Nations. Jack McGrath, a superb game last week. So another test for a different Irish front row today.
Set!
Bigadze gets the nod to feed, and Georgia again look to get the push on, and they do have the nudge, and goes to Shirakadze, the inside centre. Bigadze looking for it and digs it out. Still there for the Georgian backline with the scrum or the out half, Kamaladze.
Tackle!
Ireland trying to hold them up. Georgians have held on to the ball well in this opening 3 minutes. Kilcoyne makes the tackle, but it's there again for Bigadze, and a couple of the front row, including Mamukashvili in midfield. Ireland look to hold them up and maybe create a maul, but Georgia have the ball back on their side once again. This is the winger Chedaledze. Ireland through, but up pops Shirakadze again, and tackle comes in from Dominic Ryan. Ireland scrapping for it, not making it easy, but there for Bigadze again, and then they go to the back line, and Georgia have numbers over, including the number 8, Basilia, but just knocked forward, but promising from Georgia.
A very impressive start, good structure to their game. They're looking for width when Ireland are quite narrow there, but Basilia just unable to hold on to the ball. And noticeable again, Ireland not putting anyone into the ruck, keeping their defensive line, but just got a little bit narrow there, and Basilia taking his eye off the ball. But early signs very strong in terms of ball retention. Their scrum on their own footing, rock solid, which has given Bigadze a lot of time at the base. So a good start for the Georgians.
Crouch! Bind! Set!
Different pressure on Ireland here now, given that is their put into the scrum. Ricard Strauss at hooker.
You need to focus on
Ireland, I would imagine, in terms of him striking, will look to just lock this out. Good quality Channel 1 ball. Big day, of course, for those two, Dominic Ryan, Dave Foley. Your first cap is a special moment, and I'm sure their families taking huge pride in their achievement today.
Set!
So then Owen Redden feeds this Irish scrum, which is penalised.
On the arm, releasing his
Mike
bind.
Ross, who is penalised, penalty against Ireland, and an opportunity maybe for the Georgians to take the lead.
Yeah, and a sign of the pressure there. Mike Ross, the most experienced of the Irish front row, up against Nariashvili, and both elbows going to ground there. They're always very marginal calls. Referee JP Doyle looking to put his stamp on it early.
And the captain, David Katyarava, one of two players, indeed the other one alongside him, Kavir Kashvili, the kicker, one of two that played in that game in 2007 that are starting for Georgia today. Fullback winning his 79th international cap, the captain and centre his 75th. So Merab Kavirkashvili with the opening opportunity of the afternoon. Looks like it's going to go to the right. It has, right and wide. They feel they've got to take every opportunity that's offered to them today.
Yeah, that's the difference. At this level, every opportunity for points have to be taken, and Kaviri Kashvili, as you say, he's one of their more experienced players. He was out half in that day in Bordeaux in the '87 World Cup, and you know, I'm sure he'll be disappointed. Struck it well, but the radar unfortunately was off.
Georgia, of course, qualified for
nice and quick now,
the upcoming Rugby World Cup. Their prize, a place in the group with New Zealand, Argentina, Tonga, to whom they lost last week, and Namibia. As Madigan gets Ireland underway once more, chooses to go long, and it's Kirakashvili who sends it back. Madigan comes and claims it's a good take. Redden digs it out. Ireland really need to find some sort of structure. They've had precious little of the ball and absolutely no territory in the opening 7.5 minutes. Redden sends it, and Gilroy off in chase bursts onto the scene. Remember, tries in friendlies and then his first competitive game against Argentina.
Yeah, just the colour as well. Yeah, no.
Just a knock on there from the supporting Richard Strauss, and Joe Schmidt putting so much pressure on his wingers. Okay, so they have to be competing in the air, those balls, contestables as they call them, but you know, we've seen two knock-ons now from those situations already.
Let's get right. Premier mêlée vert. Premier mêlée vert.
Referee speaking in French to the Georgians who play their club rugby in France. Front row.
Kubriashvili very impressive in there. I'm quite sure. I don't think it was Georgian anyway.
Redden feeds. That's a better scrum from Ireland. Then it's there for Ian Madigan. Ball presented by Cave, and now Madigan again, and Felix Jones steps back inside. Well tackled. Redden once more. Taken on by Dave Foley. Darcy, that first receiver. Dominic Ryan gets man on ball, but presents it again, and Madigan can see a little gap in behind the on-rushing Georgian defence and pushes Ireland, punches Ireland inside the Georgian 22 for the first time just after 9 minutes.
And good defence from Georgia. Ireland spreading the ball wide. The first opportunity to take it beyond 2 or 3 phases. Felix Jones looking very sharp at the moment. But again, big hits going in there. Young Sherikadze, 21 years of age.
Combien?
Highly rated.
Combien de
He's one of the
passants?
few Georgian backs playing in France. Big hit out of him.
Sales
Hooker ligne plus vite, s'il vous plaît. Avec les numéros.
Asked to set again. Namokashvili, 24th international cap this afternoon. Shortened line out for Georgia, and they don't do particularly well, but well enough to hold on to possession despite the efforts of Richard Strauss. Should be there for Begadze. Georgia through the fullback, Kavirkashvili. find their way to touch.
It's a good kick from Kashvili. As I mentioned, he's played a lot of rugby at out half, and they seem to use him as their main exit strategy out of defence. But I think the Georgians will be a little disappointed. Your own line out, you have to be more secure than that.
Strauss and Ireland not hanging around, down from Foley. Now with Gordon Darcy, who gets across the gain line. Redden can see it, ball not particularly quick coming back, so Georgia have that defence around the fringes well set up. Foley, who's been used a couple of times as a ball carrier already, tries to set Ireland up again. But the penalty goes against Georgia for not rolling away, the tackler not getting away from the ball, and Ireland will have an opening opportunity now themselves to put the first points of the afternoon on the board. Yeah,
and we've seen Dave Foley being used a lot in the opening 11 minutes of this game as a carrier, and the Georgians' discipline has been an issue for them, and it was Miko Tadze, young second row, has featured a fair bit for Toulon, and he was the one guilty there.
And I don't disagree with that, but if he binds on the guy's arm, it's the first thing first, isn't it?
Referee just having a quick word with Strauss and getting a clarification, the Irish hooker, on what he wants at the scrum. So then Madigan, as we approach 12 minutes, looks to put Ireland on the board, and he does so. Sexton and O'Mahony look on. Ireland lead it by 3 points to 0.
An improving look from Johnny Sexton. If anything, Ian Madigan, I think, is the most consistent place kicker in Ireland at the moment, over 90% with Leinster, and you know, it is a huge comfort for any coach to have somebody with that level of consistency out on the field.
Kashvili gets Georgia underway against Foley, who gets up well to secure possession for Ireland. And looking to move on from here now after absorbing early effort from Georgia. Dayak at the back of that maul, and it's set up for Zebo to chase again, but it's Basalia who's there, and Vigadze will dig it out. No chance of Georgia going wide. They look to go direct, but Ireland's line was up quickly and caught them behind the gain line. This one has plenty of time for Ian Madigan to gather and decide what he wants to do. As always, he looked to turn defence into attack, albeit that he ran into a pretty big tackle. Ireland down the blind side, a little bit of space for Strauss, and then it's Tommy O'Donnell who comes back in field. Redden can see it there for Ryan, and good offload, and it's there for Darcy, who waited for the onrushing defenders to come before dispatching the ball to Gilroy, who twinkles his way around one or two defenders before he's brought down. That's the halfway line. Ireland looking to do a nice line from Dominic Ryan, but the ball wasn't held in hand. Georgia, player down on this side injured, so play on with 14. Advantage over, says the referee, for a knock-on from Ireland. It's there for Vigadze, and Georgia take it up the middle again. Kashvili looks to come back inside. Ryan did well just to hold on, but the ball popped again by the Georgians. Might just be isolated for a moment. No, numbers arrive, and Vigadze and Kamaladze, and the kick isn't a particularly good one, and Zebo was plenty of room in which to attack, and sets Ireland up once again. Slow ball. It's slowed because the Georgians were illegal at the breakdown, and Redden immediately gets on with it, almost got isolated, and Kilcoyne with a gap in front of him, and he can motor for a prop. Dave Kilcoyne, terrific effort into the 22. Ireland have men over wide. If they can spread it there, they can. It's Darcy. Darcy tries to come back inside, held up about 3 metres short. Georgia back and make the tackles, but the ball is there for Owen Redden, and now Tommy O'Donnell. Nothing much out wide for Ireland. Madigan jinks back inside.
Laisse 10.
Strauss is calling for it and calling for support. It doesn't come. And Ireland get the penalty, and there'll be a mighty sigh of relief from the Georgian defence, because for a couple of moments there it looked like Ireland would get the opening try of the afternoon.
Yeah, certainly did. Great opportunism from Owen Redden, just sensing that the Georgians, once the penalty was given, they'd switched off, concentration levels gone, and Redden keeping the ball alive. Dave Kilcoyne, very mobile for a prop, looking for the support, just that little bit slow in getting to him. Kvirikashvili managing to put in the tackle, but Ireland in the recycle. Great scramble defence, good skip pass from Robbie Diak, but Gordon Darcy just unable to make the line. As I mentioned, great scrambling from Georgia, and in the circumstances I think they'll be quite happy to just have conceded the penalty and probably 3 points.
Well, this one is as straightforward as they come for Ian Madigan, and up go the flags, as you knew they would, and after just over 16 minutes Ireland lead it by 6 points to 0.
Yeah, I think already we have a feel for where the Georgians are. Good in the set piece, they're good close in, but once Ireland lift the tempo and take it beyond 4 or 5 phases, the defensive structure of the Georgians coming under pressure.
Ladies and gentlemen, we'd also like to remind you of the long-standing tradition here of showing respect and
Kvirikashvili underway again as the sun peeks out from behind the clouds, and Foley rises to claim possession for Ireland. Robbie Diak is at the back of that Irish maul, and Owen Redden now peels away, and back inside it goes to the Ulster number 8. But the Georgians have turned that one over, and Ireland defensively not aligned, and it gives Katerava an opportunity there for Kvirikashvili, and defending their 22 Strauss. The ball presented, and Ireland come across, and the referee sees no advantage accruing, and it'll be a scrum to Ireland.
And once again, you know, we're getting a view of just how strong the Georgians are in contact, managing to turn over possession, but just unable to unlock that Irish defence, and good pressure being put on their scrum half, Bigadze there. Dominic Ryan, I'm sure, will be happy with that.
I go left, left. More left. Yeah. No. Yeah, ça va. Ça va, ça va. Yeah, continue. Coach! Pas encore tête en tête. Pas encore.
Referee just having a word with David Kubriashvili on this near side about the positioning of his head. And the scrum.
Well, you're not allowed to place your head on the opposition. There has to be a clear gap. You can't rest in on his head, and that's what he's saying to him.
Set!
Penalty this time. The scrum goes to Ireland. It's against Nariashvili, breaking his bind.
Yeah, and the early engagements had been quite clean, but unless you can establish that gap, a clear mark, you are going to have this messing. Scrum goes down, and JP Doyle will have to address that.
And Madigan on a pretty windless afternoon finds territory inside the Georgian half, and it'll be Ireland's put into the line out. Needs a bit of a spark. Kilcoyne gave it, but not much else has happened in terms of that in the opening quarter.
Yeah, I think Ireland just not managing to secure enough quality possession. They need that quick ball of the ruck.
Foley does well in the line out and looks to get Ireland's maul moving. At the back is O'Donnell, who has ball in hand.
Man on both sides, Georgian player.
Redden will now take, and he's caught as Gilroy was there for the planned move that didn't quite come off. This time it's Strauss who carries. Kvirikashvili gets himself in on the wrong side, and the penalty goes to Ireland.
No, leave him. It's okay. No panic. It's okay. Le mano sol.
Yeah, again, you see Ireland just trying to build the momentum, but Richard Strauss just hitting a block wall there.
Okay, off feet. Lemanasol.
Kubriashvili was accused of not supporting his own body weight, and a decision here for Ian Madigan, which he has no hesitation in opting for a kick at goal. Just the Georgians, they're just so solid. I mean, it's like running into a rock. So Ireland up front not managing to develop the type of momentum. Last week was the ball presentation against South Africa that enabled Conor Murray and Johnny Sexton to dictate things. It's just not quite that fluid at the moment.
So then Ian Madigan settles himself, tends not to hang around too long. Measures it up, forces his foot through the ball, and this one left and wide.
He struck it well, but just outside the left-hand post. You don't see him miss too many.
Yerkashvili goes long. Felix Jones has time to decide what he's going to do, and he shall chase. And collision, both players, both full-backs okay, and back on their feet again, but Georgia crucially come away with the ball. It's the captain, Pacharava, who sets it up. That's better work at the breakdown from Ireland, but
tackling the 9 without the ball.
Says there was a tackle that went in on the scrum half without the ball, and having done decent work at the breakdown, Ireland turn it over cheaply.
Yeah, it was a very good counter ruck, but you can't interfere with the scrum half as he's about to clear, and I think it was Darren Cave coming in there. He didn't have the ball, and you know, just these small things. It's denying Ireland the opportunity of building that momentum, and Georgia quite happy to hoof the ball down the field.
Rukashvili in the Georgian line out. Go to the front where it's
over,
secured. Ireland in through McCarthy to disrupt and force Georgia back a good 6 or 7 metres. Rukashvili takes it around the corner, runs into Irish defence, and it's the same again. This time to Gary Owen. Jones watches, waits and claims. Lidze was there to make the tackle, but the ball is recycled and there's a little bit of a gap there, and onto it comes Owen Redden from Darren Cave, and it's passed to Ryan, who did really well to hold on to that. Darcy, the first there, ball presented quickly, and Ireland have a decent platform. Here's Madigan and O'Donnell. And the tackles come in, but Ireland almost up to the Georgian 22. Redden has to pop it back, and Foley is there with McCarthy on his shoulder. There for the scrum half and captain once more. Madigan brings it up to the line and then fires it back into Mike Ross, who trundles up and into the Georgian 22. Pace and accuracy is what Schmidt wanted. Zebo will provide the pace. Cave back inside, but Zebo just can't find the pass and held on well, but held on too long.
Pulling on the ball.
And 13. Georgia get the relief of the penalty.
13.
Well, again, it was a demonstration of Ireland in terms of just how sharp they are from turnover ball. Owen Redden, once again, the catalyst. A lot of the Georgian kicks just that bit too deep, and Darren Cave there keeping the ball alive. Great support again from Owen Redden, who has been at the heart of all the good things Ireland have done. Dominic Ryan in support, keeping the flow of the movement, but at the end, Simon Zebo just not releasing in the tackle when his opposite number, Mashed Lidze, took the decision to just come up quickly, missed the tackle. At that stage it looked as if Ireland, if he had just been able to keep the ball alive here, there was an opportunity, but didn't release, and the relief on the Georgians palpable even from up here. Just there, you have to release.
Now from the resultant penalty, we are going to have the Georgian line out despite
over 15.
one of their players receiving attention. As the out half, who's now back on his feet. Georgia pounding away around the sides. Kolashvili, the latest to carry, then Bigadze sends it high, and onto it again comes Felix Jones, who pirouettes out of the attempted tackle. Madigan, little show, little go, and Madigan hits the speed button and then fires it out wide. Cave, kick and chase, Georgia scramble back, and again do just enough. Alex Tudua, the winger, just there, but in broken play, Ireland looking very adventurous.
Well, they're at a different level when it comes to opportunities like that. Ian Madigan never want to waste an opportunity. Great pass off his left hand, and with the cover coming up across, Craig Gilroy just trying to kick it in behind, but Tudua doing really well to get back. Now, did he carry it over, or was it over the line?
Okay,
great awareness here from Madigan. Super pass. Craig Gilroy, we know it is Darren Cave, actually. Yeah, Darren Cave standing out on the wing. Now, did he carry it over? Very close.
Well, the referee decided no, and gave the 22 dropout, which Felix Jones has taken again, and goes after it again, and not for the first time. Claims the ball. Basilia, the number 8, out-jumped. Redden has it. Ireland have gone up a gear. Foley carries. He's done that well in the opening 26 minutes. Darcy. Tackle is hard in the centre from Sherkadze. Redden. Ryan. Ireland pounding away at the fringes again. McCarthy puts the head down. Ball presented once more for the scrum half. Foley looks to see if there's a soft centre in that Georgian defence. Couldn't find one. Madigan showed and held on and is exposed for a moment as Georgia come piling over, and they've turned it over again. And as they do it, they don't control it, and Ireland have it once more. Here's Madigan. Dayak. Robbie Dayak looks for the offload. Zebo just couldn't get there. Georgian body in the way, and the Irish winger gets in, but not before the referee blows the whistle.
Okay.
Well, it's helter-skelter.
Yeah, it looked as if Ireland were certain to score, but Georgia, to their credit, really good in terms of that scramble defence. Felix Jones has had a superb opening 20 minutes, really solid under the high ball, collecting his own kick there, making it available, and Robbie Diak just coming back in off his left leg, just there, no support. Georgians turning it over there.
The penalty is theirs, and not surprisingly, quite happy just to suck in some air and let themselves compose once again as Gilurkashvili sends that penalty down towards the halfway line. Indeed, it's better than that. It's inside the Irish half from the Georgian fullback, and they of course will get the put into the line out.
A very good kick out of him, but Ryle, there's been a pattern in terms of Ireland just a little bit slow. 2 or 3 occasions when the support for the ball carrier is too slow in getting there, and that's enabling Georgia to get their hands locked on. They're either going to get a turnover or a penalty. Ireland need to get more bodies in supporting the ball carrier.
Mamukashvili. Georgia, good work from the line out. The set pieces being strong from them as we knew it would. And then after the whistle, there's a reaction from Kubriashvili. And the referee's going to have a word, and rightly. That was after the whistle.
Est-ce que je le dois d'appeler? Non, non, non. Tu es au sol, ne joue pas là, ok? Vous faites comme ça. Ouais. C'est garder. Garder les ballons. Very serious question. Yeah, hold on. Give me a second. Give me a second. Very serious. Give me a second. Okay. I can't go near that. No, I can't go near that.
Well, the suggestion there from Owen Redden that there was a potential gouging incident was what I picked up. Not quite sure why the referee can't go to that. You can go up to the TMO if you have a suspicion of foul play.
No, it's
that's what Owen Redden seemed to be suggesting, slightly off mic, so not able to be absolutely clear.
But what he did say, I have a serious question to ask. That seemed to be the implication. Dominic Ryan wasn't happy, certainly after, you just see here. There's a boot. Well, it's a boot.
Oh, and that's
a boot. Yeah.
That's what the issue was. Anyway, back to the game. Ryan back on his feet and able to play, but Ireland's line-out misfires, and it's Mamukashvili who comes away with it, and it's Kamaladze, and out the back line it goes. Mamukashvili back inside, trying to keep the ball alive, but just ran out of space and ran out of the opportunity. And Ireland will go back to the line-out. The one on this side didn't fire well, and that's the sort of thing that will find the Irish coaching team pulling their hair out, the frustration of the lack of accuracy at that time.
Yeah, no question about that, but I think on the flip side, the Georgians, they'll be thrilled in terms of the amount of ball they've had, a lot more confidence behind the scrum than we were led to believe. Their halfbacks play their rugby into Tbilisi, so they wouldn't be used to playing at this level.
Down from Ryan, and now it's with Madigan. In the middle of the field, it's Simon Zebo, who saw a little gap, but it was closed off well by Shirikadze.
Hold on. Okay. Yeah, side entry. 13.
Side entry.
Don't raise his
against
legs.
Georgia, penalty for
side
Ireland.
Entry. First against you, and then Ireland side entry. Don't raise his legs.
Against Kamaladze.
Sur les côtes. Côté.
Georgian out half. Ian Madigan again not hanging around, and he brings play up towards the Georgian 22.
Yeah, and a good kick out of Madigan. You know, it's all about combinations at this level, and Owen Redden and Ian Madigan, and of course Gordon Darcy at 12. At least that trio would have had a lot of rugby together with Leinster, and the Ireland halfbacks just managing to control the game that little bit better, but just not getting enough possession.
Strauss, and now Redden and Madigan. Cave, and out wide is Gilroy, who had to readjust, and in doing so he wasn't able to hold on to the ball. It's knocked forward, and you can see the frustration on the faces of the players as they turn around and head back towards their positions. They're aware that it's just not clicking, and maybe just forcing it a little.
Yeah, I think that's an issue, definitely. It wasn't the greatest of pass from Darren Cave, a little bit high for Gilroy. I mean, it's well over his head. But there does, you know, a lot of these players, as you mentioned at the outset, Ryle, they are the World Cup 10 months away. It's a big opportunity, and sometimes you can force things too much, and I think Ireland just a little bit guilty of that at the moment.
Bind! Set!
The Gadze feeds the Georgian scrum. It's not hooked. They look to just push over it, and in fact it's Ireland who push over it, but the referee says illegally. And the penalty is to Georgia.
Well, Ireland doing well initially. The ball in Georgia have been rock solid on their own put-in, but you see the drive coming in there. Dave Kilcoyne getting under Kibriashvili, but again it seemed to be on the other side of the scrum. Referee pointing to Mike Ross again. And Ross, what an integral part he's been. It's his 24th consecutive game for Ireland. Huge worries surrounding his availability for the game against South Africa, and to last 17 minutes against such a physical, under a physical examination like that was an outstanding performance. And you know, I'm quite sure Schmidt looking for another 50 at least off him today.
Ball presented for the Gadze, who goes to Kirkadiashvili. Pearl from the full back is not particularly good. Out to his winger Todua. There's a knock forward, and it's gone into touch, and the referee will give the put into the line out to Ireland.
Owen, scrum a line out.
Well, he's now asking Redden which you prefer.
Line out.
Line out's the call.
I think they had the line-out call made already. Ricard Strauss had a ball in his hand.
Ball.
Ireland not getting much change out of that maul, well defended by the Georgians, so Redden takes it and fires one into the air. Gilroy will chase, but wasn't going to be able to compete, so waited for to win the ball and then put his man on the ground. Migadze. And again, it's the fullback, Kashvili.
No!
On a particularly good kick, and Redden had it and then lost it forward, and it's very scrappy from both sides, but the referee says it's okay to play on, and it's Richard Strauss who fly hacks it down the ground, and it's Kamaladze, the out half, who scampers back and does very well to ensure possession is secured for Georgia. Scrappy from both sides, but Georgia find themselves back inside their own 22, and that relieving kick won't help matters as Gilroy gathers and maybe looking to make up for that knock on. Doesn't make much ground, met on the gain line. It's there for Redden, and Dominic Ryan is asked to carry Kilcoyne there to do the clear out work, and there for Redden once more. Madigan, and now Felix Jones and Simon Zebo. Darcy outside him, Zebo inside two, eventually put to ground, but it takes three of them to do it, and the ball is presented for Redden, and Georgia are offside, and Ireland will get the penalty.
Well, it looked as if Kamaladze had cleared the danger. A bit of soccer out of him to get the ball away from Richard Strauss, but Bigadze at scrum half. You've got to find touch when you turn over possession like that. He didn't do it. And here we just see Strauss going back, but Kamaladze put a soccer skill out of him.
Well, Ireland and Ian Madigan have declined the kick at goal. Instead they go for the corner. Madigan fires it into touch about 7 metres short of the Georgian line, and the crowd raise their voice in hope of seeing a try before half-time. 6 points going into the break is not what people were expecting from this Irish team today. Credit to the Georgians for the manner in which they've gone about their business, but Ireland will be looking for and wanting more before the break, and they go to the maul, and it's Dominic Ryan, the new cap at the back, and Dyack is the man whose head is up and who's trying to direct it, and Ireland get a second surge going, and Zebo is in behind Ryan, and McCarthy there also, and the ball disappears into a sea of bodies, but Ireland still have control of it. It's Dyack now who looks to turn and ground the ball but can't, and Redden will look to dig it out. There are hands all over it. It's Foley who's held up about 2 metres short. Ball slow coming back. Ireland ready the bodies to go again. Dominic Ryan will receive. He gets 3 Georgians who put him to ground immediately, and then they try to go over the ball and clear it, which they do. And again, desperate defence from the Georgian side does enough to repel Ireland.
Well, the ball just it popped out the side of the maul and enabled Georgia to clean it. It looked as if Ireland were almost over the line. Dominic Ryan in possession here, a switch play from the line out initially, very good drive, but there just a lack of control, lack of patience close to the line. Dave Foley, who's carried a huge amount of ball in the opening 36 minutes, looked as if he might power his way over the line, but again, the powerful Georgian defence from close in, just managing to hold him up. And you know, when you get that close, it's all about patience. Get the ball, try and make the maul as long as possible, but it just popped out of the side, and just Ireland's execution not quite where it should be.
Credit in particular to the Georgian hooker Mamukashvili, who was absolutely committed 3-4 times back on his feet and back into the defensive duty, the front line, and it was his efforts in particular which disrupted that Irish ball. And we're back to where we started, 7 metres short of the Georgian line for Ireland, and Richard Strauss will go for it and find McCarthy, and again they'll go to the maul, and this time it's Tommy O'Donnell who takes it on at the back, and Ireland look to vary a point of attack, and that's reaped a bit of a reward on Ireland go. Advantage now being played to Ireland as the ball goes to ground and is presented, but not particularly well, and the referee is going to penalise the Georgian hooker Mamukashvili on this occasion for side entry, and he's going to have a word with the captain as well. And the message is stop repeating the offence, or you know where one of your players is going.
Yeah, well, when you can see that many penalties 10 metres from the line, you are in yellow card danger. And Ireland's maul, again, a different variation that time. Clean ball from Mike McCarthy, a straight drive on him. But again, the Georgians just managing to get in between those Irish bodies, but having gone, ignored the kick to post once, Ireland sticking to the same routine.
Okay. Yes.
So close.
And possession is secured. Is it to be third time lucky? Tommy O'Donnell, who's lost the scrum cap, is at the back of that Irish maul, but again Georgia organise themselves well and repel the first effort. Now Ireland go again. Georgia come through and Ireland march on. And where's the ball? It's Strice at the back. Out it goes to Darcy. Ireland look to recycle. O'Donnell goes on a run. Hold up, a metre short, or was he? The referee slow to react. The crowd behind suggested that there was something to look at, and that is what JP Doyle is going to do. He goes to the television match official, who's Jim Ewell, and O'Donnell, well, his face suggests that maybe he didn't get there. He looked like a man who's celebrating, and that's why.
Well, he knew, didn't he? Just about to dot it down over the line, but he lost control of it here well before the line. No control there. Bigadze doing well to get back and put his boot in. That's going to be a Georgian scrum. O'Donnell so close. Again, the maul working well for Ireland, but you have to admire the doggedness of the Georgians. And it was their number 4, Miko Otadze, all 128 kilograms of him. He was the one who went in and held up the maul originally. And the Georgians, they'll feed the scrum. They would be thrilled if this half were to finish with just 6 points in arrears. And you know, their scrum has been rock solid today, so you'd expect them to be able to clear their lines. But Ireland, they will attack the scrum.
Don't bind till I say, okay? Crouch! Bind! Sit!
Scrum is solid. Basilia will wait for the penalty to come, which it inevitably does. And Georgia will clear their lines, and we're into the final minute of the first half, just 6 points in it. And in truth, if Kvirkashvili had taken that opportunity, which was eminently kickable, this could be even closer.
Yeah, no question about that. And you know, you see the frustration there on the Irish squad members in the stand. Jimmy Heaslip just looking on when Tommy O'Donnell was so close. But you're always in danger when you have to reach out for the line like that. You're exposing the ball, and Georgi Bigadze, the Georgian scrum half, really doing well to get back in and prevent O'Donnell from grounding that.
Scrappy ball from the Georgian line-out, and Robbie Dayak is the man who capitalises, and Gordon Darcy has the ball for Ireland in midfield. This is the last play of the first half. O'Donnell sets it up for Ireland once again. Owen Redden down the narrower of the two sides. McCarthy is asked to carry, and it's Shadikadze who puts him to ground. Dominic Ryan runs into a big tackle from Nanakashvili. Tommy O'Donnell again sets it up for Ireland. Hands in there from the Georgians. Is it Nariashvili? I think it was that prop forward, but ball is still there for Ireland. Lovely little wraparound from Madigan, and then Gilroy is on his shoulder and he hits the afterburners and up to the Georgian 22. Ireland still in possession. Ball left for Redden by Darcy. Kilcoyne is asked to carry, but Kulishvili came thundering out and made the tackle for Georgia. Here's Foley, who ships it on to Madigan, and there's a bit of space there. Cave tried to suck in the defenders, but no one on his shoulder. McCarthy gets there to secure the ball. Madigan decides to come back inside, quite a distance to those that were outside him. It's now filled by Felix Jones as Ireland bring the ball up to the Georgian 22. Ball held up, illegally so. And Georgia, I think, are going to find themselves down to 14 for the first 10 minutes of the second half. They are. Ultimately, too many penalties given away, and they will find themselves down to 14.
No, yellows. Yeah, yellow, yeah.
For the first 10 minutes of the second half, and Ireland
for me, number 3 is
will
legal, so Ireland
have
put him off his feet.
the opportunity to go to 9 points. It's the scrum half, Begadze, who has been singled out, but more for the team rather than for that individual error.
Yeah, no question about that. We had heard JP Doyle given the warning, too many penalties in that red zone. And but the thing that will really annoy the Georgians is it was their throw into the line out. All they had to do was win possession, and it was half time. They lost control, and when you give away that amount of penalties, you're always dicing with trouble. But Madigan having skipped 3 opportunities to kick at goal in preference to the corner for lineouts. No choice on this occasion, going for the sticks.
And this will be the final action of the half. On its way from Madigan, and it's good. And Madigan goes with a spring in his step to the changing room at half-time, but the story really of the first half has been teak-tough defending from Georgia. Ireland ahead by 9, but far from comfortable. The half-time score at the Aviva, Ireland 9, Georgia 0. It's all true in terms of the clearing out, in terms of the individuals rather than the team, in terms of the expectation, and also in terms of what the Georgians have brought to the game that many of us probably in a slightly disrespectful way didn't expect.
Yeah, well look, they'll always be strong and physical, but I think Popey put his finger on it. It's the breakdown is the key, and Ireland need to flood more numbers there.
They're trying to vary it at the start of the second half, but Georgia through the winger to Dua claim possession. Choose to go to their back line, and this is straight down the throat of Ian Madigan. Now, can the out half create anything from here? He runs into a big tackle from Makudze. Redden changes the point of attack, and it's Felix Jones, and then Dominic Ryan with Gilroy outside of him. Ryan presents the ball. That's much better from Ireland at the breakdown, but just as I say that, Mike McCarthy spilled the ball and knocked it forward. And Georgia will surely get the put in to the scrum, although there was a shrill blast of the whistle, and the referee looking to have a word with somebody. Kubriashvili. It's a penalty to Ireland.
Yeah, and then foul play.
Something happened on the far side, referee saying yes, knock on, but there was foul play also.
There on the head.
Yeah, I think it was when Mike McCarthy dropped the ball going into possession. It was obviously a swinging arm, which I have to confess I didn't see. And it's a break for Ireland, because with the Georgians down to 14 men, bang on half-time, Ireland had 15 minutes in the dressing room in terms of how to work out, how to best utilise their numerical advantage. So you'd expect something to flow from this.
Simon Zebo took that penalty because Ian Madigan was receiving attention. And he's back on his feet, and this is Richard Strauss, who's ready to go as the Irish line-out arrives, and they'll go to the maul, but immediately Georgia forced them back a good 3-4 metres as Strauss gets his hand on the ball.
Scrum half once, he's bound on both sides. He's bound on both sides.
Redden trying to get in and retrieve it, but Ireland march on, and now it's presented. Back inside comes Gilroy, but tackle is made. Foley takes it on for a couple of yards, ball presented again, and Kilcoyne bursts through. That's more like it from Ireland. Decent work at the breakdown, ball presented, Kilcoyne comes on at pace and at an angle, and is in for Ireland's opening try of the afternoon, 2.5 minutes into the second half.
Yeah, well, in a nutshell, that is the difference when you get quick ball. It's all about good placement. Foley starts off the movement in terms of good, clean, quality ball at the line-out. great work from the Georgians. They've decided not to compete in the air but on the ground. Super pass from Owen Redden, great line. Dave Kilcoyne managing to get in and over the line, and that's you just feel the spark that Ireland needed. It had to come early, and at least that might settle a few nerves.
And Madigan tags on another 2, and Ireland are out to a 16-point lead.
And again, Foley, having won the line out, he was the one who went in and made the carry prior to Kilcoyne, and you know, what a day for UL Bohemians in Limerick. It's the first time ever 3 forwards in each row of the Irish scrum: Kilcoyne, Foley and Tommy O'Donnell. That'll be a popular try in Limerick.
Kashvili sets us on our way again, and Foley's really been impressive. He's grown into this game as it's gone on. It's been scrappy at times from Ireland, and maybe not as structured as they would have liked, but Foley has done well. Here's Zebo, dances around one, ball around the other, tries a little flick to take it on. It doesn't come off, but O'Donnell stoops and picks it up, and the ball should be there for Ireland. And Owen Redden flings out the pass to Madigan, who sends it on its way to Darcy. Angles run by Felix Jones, but it's Cave who kicks it over the top for Gilroy to rush onto, and Ireland back inside the Georgian 10-metre line, and all this time, remember, with the extra man.
Yeah, and far more urgency to Ireland now. Simon Zebo managing to get around the player there, but he'd have been better off trying to catch that ball. You know, he did that bit of magic once in Cardiff a couple of seasons ago, but he'd have been better just trying to catch it and retain possession.
Kashvili, ball almost back into his hands. Looked like it was knocked forwards. Flag goes up anyway, and Ireland will get the put in to the line out.
And the Georgians now, whether it's because they're down to 14 or whatever, but all of a sudden they look a bit heavier in the legs, and a bit more space opening up to those Irish midfield backs.
Strauss for McCarthy, and then Ross peels, and Redden feeds Madigan, and Cave looks for the little gap, didn't quite come off. Gilroy there to receive the ball as it was popped up, presents it for Owen Redden. Kilcoyne, he's put to ground by Kulishvili. Foley sets it up again, just about gets over that gain line. Here's Madigan and Darcy, and it's Diakin. Through goes Robbie Dyack. Can he offload? Ball just presented for Gilroy, I think it was, and the numbers are there, and Strauss, probably not intended for him, but he got his hands to it. Madigan does the clear out work, and it's there for Redden, and then Dominic Ryan. And Ireland about 7 metres short, but they don't control it. And Georgia will just fly hack it downfield, where Ireland don't have any numbers, but there's no effort from Georgia to come downfield, and plenty of time for Madigan to stoop and turn and consider his option, which is to go high. No real chase from Ireland there either, and Georgia quite happy to fire it out wide where the out half Kamaladze is, and he turns on the speed but is watched all the way by Darcy, and Ross is the first to arrive to assist the Irish centre. And Georgia out on that far side. Felix Jones thinking about getting on with it, but no enthusiasm from his pack for him to do that.
Yeah, no shortage of confidence from Kamaladze in terms of putting the pressure on there. A great line from Barbadiak, just inside him, Owen Redden. If he could have offloaded a second earlier, you would have felt that Redden might have scored. You alluded to it there a couple of minutes ago, Ryle. Mike Ross has done his work for the day. 6 minutes into the second half, and Rodney Ayew may not have been on the bench if Nathan White, his fellow Connacht tighthead, had been available, but he gets his chance now.
Rodney Ayew into the game to win his third cap, and it's Gilroy who takes it up for Ireland. Darcy, and then Redden, and he was trying to bring Felix Jones into it, but Georgia got a hand on it and bounces around like in a pinball machine, and Darcy restores a bit of order, and then Redden kick over the top. Back there is Chedaladze, and the winger with very little option other than to put it into touch. He looked up and there were 13 very tired and heavy-legged Georgian bodies in front of him.
Yeah, you just see that switch inside. That's a play that Leinster have used so many times, but was read by Kashvili, getting his body in the way. But I think Joe Schmidt will be a little disappointed. That's 2 kicks that Ireland have put up now where there was no chase whatsoever, and that is very uncharacteristic of teams under him. Not alone were they too deep, but nobody closed the space at all.
Down for Owen Redden and Ian Madigan, and Gordon Darcy and Simon Zebo. Zebo looks to step back inside. Numbers there to clear it out for Redden once more. McCarthy fights his way. Hugh steps over it, and it's Felix Jones and Simon Zebo. And Zebo tries to send it on to Dominic Ryan, but it's not forward. In fact, it was a forward pass as well. Advantage being played to Georgia.
Advantage over.
And now the advantage is over. And back there is Ian Madigan. Gilroy on his shoulder. Sees big space and looks to run into it, then kicks in behind the Georgian defence. Gilroy makes the tackle on Tudua.
2 ball carriers.
Kuliashvili peels around. Foley makes the tackle. Kubliashvili looks to clear the ball out, but Georgia holding on the ground despite the efforts of the Stade Francais prop to clear Ireland out of there. And the penalty goes to the men in green.
Okay,
yeah, again we just see Craig Gilroy seeing the space in beside, and the Georgians look very slow to get across. Tudua doing really well, tidied it up, but when Kuliashvili went off on his own, no support for him. And Ireland, having had 3 goals of line-out mauls in the opening half, waste no time as Bigadze comes back onto the field. So Ireland, in the period he was off, 10 points, just as they did against South Africa last week.
Well, Dachunashvili comes into the game, plays his club rugby in France, and out of the game comes Makatudze. Ireland to the rear of the line-out. It's claimed by Dayak and Foley, received, and then it goes into the hands of Strauss, who Kilcoyne is in front of, and Strauss can see the line, and he's there! Richard Strauss in for Ireland's 2nd try of the afternoon, and that was more like the accuracy we were expecting to see from the outset. 50 minutes, and Ireland, through Richard Strauss, have their 2nd try of the afternoon.
Well, they get the reward on this occasion for going to the corner, but the difference here, Robbie Dyer, clean ball, good presentation. They get this set up right early on, but they move the point of attack down on the side, and once they get that momentum going, overloading towards the narrow side of the pitch, ball always protected, and Richard Strauss, sensing his moment to do it, got sucked in, and he was never going to stop him. So that's 2 tries for the front row union.
It's like the Georgians are considering changing their entire front row. More on that in a moment. First though, Ian Madigan with the conversion attempt, and that struck sweetly. He's in terrific form with the boot, Ian Madigan. Ireland's 23, Georgia 0.
And all of a sudden the whole pattern of the game has changed. And you just sense once Joe Schmidt got him into the dressing room at half-time, knowing that Georgia were down a man, they were always going to up the tempo, and that's what's happened, and now in a very comfortable lead.
The entire Georgian front row has been retired, and 3 replacements are on as Ireland through Kilcoyne, and Dayak look to set Ireland on their way again. Here's Madigan. Kashvili readjusted well.
Yep.
Ireland up in a line. Fullback sends it back down, and Madigan waits and then steps away beautifully. And then tries to break the 2nd tackle. It's Rodney Howe who's on his shoulder, and then O'Donnell And the ball set up again.
Forward pass.
The pass was forward. A beautiful moment from Madigan. Stood statuesque still as he waited to take the ball, and as soon as he had it, he was gone.
Well, he's brilliant at standing up the opposition. Great stepper, keeping the ball alive. Great support again, and Rodney Ayew will be thrilled to get his hands on the ball. Unfortunately, a forward pass just in here. Yeah, it does go forward, no question about that. But that is what Ireland want. They want to get that mix in broken play between backs and forwards, interplay at its best. And the Georgians now having changed their whole front row, which is no surprise really. Of the 42 Georgian players registered with French clubs, 28 are props.
Masuradze,
on the outside.
Jabania,
Crouch,
and Chilachava are the three new front rows. Two props, Zavina and Chilachava, for Stade Francais and for Toulon.
Ireland moving Ireland.
Free is for Georgia, and they get on with it, and Madigan makes the tackle, and Basilia.
Tackle's okay.
Meladze fires it out. O'Donnell came up quickly, but tackle was evaded.
Advantage.
Looked high from Rodney Ayew. He puts his hands up, no doubt.
Yeah, acknowledging straight away. I think it was just more messy. No malicious intent as such, but it was high. No question, a penalty. No more than that.
Tackle on.
10
Gadze.
Jack McGran, Robin Copeland, of course, he'll be hoping to become the third member today to win his first cap. Looking at the clock, these fellas look a little bit more relaxed, no doubt. Australia in their mind that have watched the Aussies against France last night.
Kamaladze makes way, and in his place comes Malogadze, and Girgadze wearing number 23 in also. And it looks like it's Chedaledze, the winger, who's gone. Kashvili out of defence. Madigan, who made the kick, is up to make the tackle. Gadze sets it up. Gadze. Ireland holding on, looking to turn it into a maul. The referee says no, it's a tackle, and the ball presented rather laboriously for Georgia, but nonetheless it's there. Masuradze, replacement hooker, makes a couple of yards.
Okay, thank you.
Tommy O'Donnell makes the tackle in midfield.
Advantage
Georgia
penalty, 12
going
green
through
offside.
the phases and now have the advantage of a penalty. And that will come.
Well, you just see the bit of impetus that the new front row have given. All three managing to carry there, and Ireland giving away the penalty. Kashvili has been restricted to one kick at goal in the opening half, and missed that one, but this one too far out. And Maloradze, the reserve, that's a big kick.
It's a huge kick from Maloradze, winning his 50th international cap today. And he fires Georgia up and inside the Irish 22.
Inside of green.
Not the best of passes from the Gadze, but the ball in midfield for Georgia. Scrum half can see it again and attacks the Irish line. There was a little gap there, and it's been exploited, and Georgia are going to get in, you know. Namadze is in. The second row is the man to cross for Georgia's first try, and the small support that's here are on their feet, and so they should be. Ireland really got it wrong defensively. The gap was there, and the second row in for his 8th international try.
Well, the gap opened up, but you have to be sharp, and Bigadze at scrum half got in behind. Georgians not known for their offloading game, but Nemzadze, great support line for him. Big, powerful second rows, had a fine game. And once he got in behind that Irish defence, he was always going to score. Ireland will be raging to have made it so easy for him.
Here it is again.
Yeah, Bigadze, as I said, just once he got that his hands in behind, the support was there, and Nemzadze gets the reward for chasing and getting in support. You enjoy that.
Kashvili, as you saw, the drop goal conversion, and it gives Georgia the full 7, and after 57.5 minutes, it's Ireland 23, Georgia 7.
It's also, I think, just a warning for Ireland. It looked as if the Georgians had switched off a little, but the impact that they've brought in from the bench has made a difference.
Go back off
Ireland again go for that variation on the restart we saw at the start of the second half, and possession should be there for Ireland, but it's taken by Shirikadze, and all of a sudden there's a spring in the Georgian step again. Terrific tackle from Felix Jones on Shirikadze.
Yeah, but Mirab Shirikadze has been really busy all day, looking to try and get in behind Ireland, and a big tackle there by Felix Jones.
The Georgians have now emptied the bench. Ireland shorten their line out as we head towards the final quarter. Down for Owen Redden, and then Simon Zebo. And Georgia watched that all the way. The ball should be presented and isn't dealt with. Georgia offside and from the wrong side, and it's a penalty to Ireland.
Yeah, Datunashvili, the experienced second row coming in from the side. He was part of that Georgian team in Bordeaux in 2007. Hugely experienced, and you know, just his sheer bulk has made an impact off the bench. But on that occasion, coming in on the side, right in front of JP Doyle, he made it very easy for him. And Ireland now with a line out, very advantageous position. Good quality ball right throughout the game. But Georgians' defence again, just being able to stand up Zebo, but just there in on the side.
Now it's Foley, and Ireland go to the maul again. Ronnie Ayew at the back, and Tommy O'Donnell is the man with his hands on the ball, but Georgia have marched Ireland back a yard or two, and Redden isn't going to hang around. Ball goes to Gordon Darcy. Set up for Redden. Ireland have very little out wide. Felix Jones comes back in and runs a decent line and brings Ireland inside the 22. Here's Kilcoyne. Straightens it, numbers there to clear it out. Madigan, McCarthy almost away. Zavina makes the tackle. Madigan again. Dayak 6 meters short. Ireland come in search of another try. Kilcoyne. Ayew gets the Georgians out of there, but the ball isn't controlled. And is there another yellow card? There is, for further infringing when under pressure around the red zone. Georgia, well, down to 14 again. There'll be another 10 minutes in the sin bin, and it's the number 8 who will spend 10 minutes there, Basalia.
Well, that's the last thing the Georgians needed, given the pressure that they've been under. I've mentioned already Ireland registering 10 points when Bigadze was in the bin. And interestingly, Ireland going for the scrum as opposed to the line-out that we've seen in the opening half. The Georgians, I'm quite sure, will be happy to defend with just 7 in the scrum.
This will be the last action for a number of Irish players. They're 1, 2, 3, 4 with their tracksuits off and ready to come in. Cronin, Copeland, Devon Toner and Stuart Olding are being readied.
And Georgia, you see, not bringing in one of the backs. Can't afford to, but in Ireland put into the scrum. They've no number 8 in it. Interesting to see what option Redden will take here.
Ireland get the nudge on, and it's then presented for Redden, and Gilroy off his shoulder And 3 metres short. Craig Gilroy stopped. The ball is presented. It's not passed to anyone in particular, but finds its way to Madigan and Zebo. Simon Zebo in for Ireland's try. It looked like the momentum and the moment were lost, but the ball found its way and gave Zebo that sort of space. Well, there was only going to be one outcome.
Well, it was sheer weight of numbers in the end. Pre-rehearsed move off the base of the scrum. Robbie Dyack, a little flick to Redden, who knew that Craig Gilroy had come in from the blindside wing. They managed to suck in too many Georgian defenders, and even though the pass wasn't great, loads of space out wide, and Simon Zebo, you won't get many as easy as that. Really an unopposed run to the line.
And serious concern for one of the Georgian players as you watch that the stretcher has been called for, and 5 or 6 of the ambulance crew, there you see it, and the Georgian medical staff around him. I have a sense it might be the try scorer, Mzadze.
Time's up, Jim.
Sure. Kurt Strauss is gone, Zebo gone, McCarthy gone, Foley gone.
Yeah, it's interesting that both second rows have gone. Devin Toner will obviously come into the second row, but does that mean that Robin Copeland will also go into the second row? He, of course, is getting his first cap.
There's Devin Toner. Immense last week. And holding in for just his second cap for his debut against the USA.
Yeah, he's a really promising player, I think, Stuart Olding. Saw him as an out half at under 20 level a number of years ago. As we just look back at the try here,
I have no idea what the story is.
I can't see where the Georgian player got injured. Gilroy just...
it's there. In fact, it's the substitute, Magaladze. I think he's just out cold.
Yeah. At least he has the best of medical attention there, and it's amazing. In the new Aviva Stadium, they have a room underneath here. It's like a hospital. You can get x-rays straight away, so he will get the best of medical attention.
They've got one in the bin, and then you can't replace this guy, so that's
Stuart Olding, I was commenting on there a while ago. He's played a full back and in the centre for Ulster. Had a bad injury last year, but you notice how much he's bulked up in the period he's been away from the game, and a really talented player. Those two seem to enjoy it.
Jamie Heaslip obviously doesn't feel the cold.
Delays like this, of course, don't do anything for either side, and a bitterly cold wind. Discussion there between the midfield backs. The two centres are there, so Stuart Olding, interesting to see where he lines up.
All the right procedures and time required for Lasha Malagadze.
And the Georgians, the heads just dropping a little. I was speaking to Michael Bradley, their backs coach, this morning, and they were really disappointed last week when they were beaten by Tonga. Tonga, of course, in their pool in the World Cup next year, competing well. He reckoned they made 2 bad calls in defence. The Tongans, 2 great tries, and they have improved defensively, certainly in that first half, a lot more cohesive. They have a big game against Japan last week, and he was very impressed by the Tongans. They went on, they put 40 points on America over the weekend, and they're playing Scotland next week. He said keep an eye on that one. Scotland, of course, going great, but Tonga making good strides.
Well, a good sign there, the right hand of the replacement moving, and he's clearly conscious again. Medical staff all around him. And as Ireland make another couple of changes, numbers 21 and 22 into the game. It's Kieran Marmion and Ian Keatley. And it's Gordon Darcy who's being called out, which would suggest that Madigan will move to 12.
Yeah, maybe also an indication that Darcy may be back in midfield. Jared Payne, of course, a big doubt about him for the Australian game next week. So does that mean Robbie Henshaw moves out to 13 and Darcy, who wins his 80th cap today, comes back in for that game?
Well, after all that, as the cards carrying Baloganze heads towards the changing area, Madigan knocks over the extra 2. Ireland lead it by 30 points to 7.
Replacements for Ireland. Number 21.
Well inside the final quarter then, at the Aviva Stadium in this second Guinness International of the November series. A few new combinations out there with their hands on the ball, and one of those is Sean Cronin, and he is outstanding, simply outstanding with ball in hand. Copeland provided the pass. Here's Madigan, Keatley, and then Cave. Keatley in to make sure the ball comes back on the Irish side. Marmion there, Tommy O'Donnell runs into a tackle. Marmion not particularly well protected, but the advantage is there. Dominic Ryan feigned to go on the outside, ran into a big tackle from Georgian hooker. Keatley, good pass. Cave, Cronin again, looked like he was caught high. Referee confirms it. Marmion is there. Madigan, who continues it out half. It's Keatley who's playing at centre. Marmion looking for the penalty. Will go back for the first one.
Well, a definite high tackle on Sean Cronin, and he's only been on the field a couple of minutes, but already he's carried twice. Really has become an explosive carrier, and has proven that with Leinster this year with Cian Healy and Sean O'Brien. Huge losses to that Leinster pack. Both him and Jimmy Heaslip carrying a huge amount of ball. Robin Copeland, another getting his hands on the ball. I think he's a fantastic athlete, a great talent. It's taken him a little bit of time to settle in Munster, but you just see him here now standing up on the tackle. Good offload. Cronin, as he does so well, he is amazing pace for a hooker, but tackle on him was high.
You didn't have fellas like Cronin and Healy and Kilcoyne playing in your teams, don't you?
Well, they didn't run that fast anyway.
It's there for Ireland and for Tommy O'Donnell. Keatley in, good clean out from Munster out half. Here's Madigan back inside and pass to Felix Jones. Just not held, but it was knocked forward by Georgian hand to the ball. Still there for Ireland. Marmion digs it out. Kilcoyne. Cronin, he's got a step as well. O'Donnell on his shoulder. Marmion once more. Madigan. Keatley, Cave. Suspicion that might have been forward, but the referee right there. No. Georgia are going to get themselves into trouble again at the breakdown.
Rook. Okay, Rook.
He knew what he was doing.
I mean, they know they've no choice but to try and slow down the ball for Ireland, and you know, we've seen the difference that has made in this second half. Madigan once again going to the corner.
He's having a cheeky look around to see where Craig Gilroy might have been.
Well, he is like that, in fairness to him. He's always great peripheral vision. He really is an outstanding player, I think, and but you'd like to see him maybe settle down in one position.
So then Ireland to the line out. Ball secured once again. Toner in front of Cronin. He now has his hands on the ball.
Once Ireland. Use it.
Down it goes. Marmion needs to keep his eye on where the ball is. Has it now. Madigan. Cave. Pass for Olding sort of dribbles into his arms and gives him no chance of getting up any momentum. Marmion again. No one outside Tommy O'Donnell, so he has to step back inside. He's put to ground. Here's Ayew. Rodney Ayew, terrific strength, takes two Georgians to put him down and still continues the forward momentum. Madigan slips as he jinked one way and then the other. Marmion again. And the sheer weight of numbers will surely provide Ireland with another try. Georgia sucked in again. Ayew, Toner on his shoulder. Olding, Felix Jones out wide, Jones for the corner. And in he slides. And the green wave of Ike eventually crashes over in the corner.
Well, again, sheer weight of numbers. The Georgians down to 14. Good recycling, good placement of the ball and the tackle, and Robbie Diak and Rodney Ayew, since he's come on, has really carried a lot of ball. But there's sheer weight of numbers out wide. Devin Toner doing really well to get in and get beyond the ball, and really Felix Jones, who's had a fine game. Holding, straight pass. Felix was always going to score from there, and he's worked hard, been really solid under the high ball, and he has pace, of course, played a lot of rugby on the wing. Be thrilled to have got that try.
Another tester for the radar of Ian Madigan. As the clock ticks towards the final 10 minutes. And this one is pulled to the left and wide, so 69.5 minutes, Ireland 35, Georgia 7.
Yeah, and you just think Ireland will go for the juggler now. 10 minutes. Doesn't help when you have so many changes. When you consider Ireland, 13 changes to the starting side and then another 8 players in off the bench. So it does take a while and it will be disjointed, but you just feel the Georgians now, they've given everything they have. The 2 sin bin-ins have really cost them dearly.
Back with the fullback, Kabir Kashvili. Recycled, it's Kajarava, captain, takes it down the narrow side. Another Georgian player receiving attention very close to the action. Ireland forced into a bit of defensive duty as Zavina takes it on for a yard or two and then picked up again, this time by Chikachava.
Okay.
So that's it. And Georgia recycle the ball. Big tackle in midfield by Devin Toner, but Georgia can see it, and then Ireland look to counter ruck, and Marmion has a sense the ball might be there, but it's not, as Georgia through to Dua. Turn it over, and now Ireland have numbers, and Georgia do not, and it's there. And Keatley and pops it up, and who's on his shoulder? Cronin, and then Felix Jones, and anyone at 4. But it's the fullback who gets in for his second in nearly as many minutes. And Ireland are out to 40 points.
Well, that's a brilliant try. Right deep from there. Once they had got the turnover, they had the weight of numbers out wide. The Georgians doing everything to scramble their way back. To do it here, who's had a fine game, but just caught in contact. Robin Copeland dispossession, and Marmion with the numbers out wide. Ian Keatley, lovely pass, steps inside here, and that takes the last Georgian out of it. Sean Cronin, beautiful inside pass to Felix Jones, and as you mentioned, any one of 4. Cronin well up in support again. The conversion really a formality for Madigan.
Well, this is the 4th meeting of these sides. Of course, there was that 14 points to 10 game that has been referred to so many times back in 2007. In 02, Ireland won it by 63 points to 14. In 98, it was 70 points to 0. Right now, with 7.5 minutes to go, it's Ireland 42, Georgia 7.
Yeah, and Kieran Marmion there, really sharp, and he again a good young player who'll be fighting for a place in the World Cup squad. But Cronin, the work he does on the loose is phenomenal, and you can just see Cronin and Robin Copeland in support, telling him, go to the post.
No! Okay, hold on here.
Madigan watched it all the way, and Ireland do well to make sure possession comes back on their side. Keatley, big kick, and scrambling back goes Kashvili. Gilroy lets him do the dance and then engages him and into touch.
Well, I think a bit like the Georgians, the avenues have closed, no space to run, and Kashvili just found itself completely isolated. Looks as if he knocked it on there initially, and Craig Gilroy getting the reward for closing the space. Darren came up with him, and really the Georgians, it's all falling apart for them now. 19 points in their latest yellow card.
Over 15.
Here's Marmion. Keatley holding, terrific line. Oh, terrific try. Stuart Olding gets his first international try, and he'll remember that for a long, long time.
Well, it's a big moment to score for your country, and you know, he'll have been sitting on the sideline looking anxiously like the rest of us at the Ireland's performance in the opening half. When you get your chance, you've got to take it. Again, good ball from Jack, who's had a great production in the lineup, but just a simple switch, and the Georgians' defensive organisation all over the place at this stage. Stuart Olding, great finish.
It's the sort of thing you lie at home and dream about when you get to play your first international match in your home stadium, and it comes off just like that. Acres of space, time to enjoy it, and one for the memory as over the conversion goes from Ian Madigan. Ireland 49, Georgia 7.
Yeah, and you can see the difference now with the forwards, Strauss and Kilcoyne having scored early in the opening half. All the backs getting their names now, with Felix Jones with 2, Olding, Simon Zebo.
19.
Great run.
19, derrière les lignes. 19.
And away we go again. Ireland heading
Overplay,
towards
use it, Ireland!
breaking the 50-point barrier. They need to hold on to possession, and it's there for Georgia when it should have been for Ireland. Ball skates through a hand or two. It is secured, and Georgia again keeping it tight, battling away around the fringes. Now looking to go down the blind side. It's the captain again, Kacharava. Ireland hold firm in defence around the fringes, and it's secured, and Marmion saw a gap, tried to exploit it. The kick was charged down, and into touch it goes.
Yeah, it's just the whole game, I think, has lost its shape now at this stage. Bit messy. Marmion just looking to try and I'm sure he'd have preferred a little bit quicker ball, or a cleaner ball, I should say.
Donald, let's talk man of the match.
Yeah, there was 1 or 2 excellent performances on the Georgian side. Certainly Shirikadze in the centre there, but really when the game was there to be won, and all the pressure in the opening half, I thought Dave Foley was the standout player, outstanding in terms of carry and ball winning, and Dave Foley is my RTE Guinness man of the match.
Devon Toner takes possession on for Ireland, and Copeland makes a yard, and Olding is on his shoulder, and Georgia tackle him into touch over on the far side. There he is, our man of the match, Dave Foley.
Yeah, he's had a fantastic game. I mean, when you look at he's had to bide his time in Munster. O'Connell and O'Callaghan there ahead of him, then Donncha Ryan, I suppose, the forgotten man. He's been injured, but Foley has come into that Munster side and had a fantastic campaign playing next to Paul O'Connell. He's been given his opportunity today, and you have to say he's taken it with both hands.
Gadze to a very messy line out. Ireland are the ones that are penalised.
There is no problem. Hey, I've already talked to you, chill, okay? Keep it easy. Keep it easy.
Into the corner from that penalty, Georgia go.
It'll be interesting to see if there's anything left in the Georgians now. I mean, they've brought a huge amount of endeavour and effort into this game. Missing, I suppose, two of their really standout forwards in Mamouza Gargadze and Zirikashvili, another outstanding prop. But really, once the game broke up, unable to cope with the pace of Ireland behind the scrum.
Ball.
Well, they have one try as they go in search of a second. And it's Chevinia who takes it on, but then knocks it on, and the scrum will go to Ireland.
Yeah, and you know, you just see composure gone from the Georgians at this stage, but good work from Ireland on the deck. And Rodney Ayew, I'm quite sure he'll be really happy with the workload he's put in the second half.
Maybe not got the scrummaging test in the last 20 minutes that he would have looked for. Maybe Joe Schmidt would have wanted him to get.
Well, when you look at it, we've had the second half, it really has been devoid of scrums, very few of them, and maybe he's quite happy with that.
Just a brief word on Australia, who we saw playing against France last night.
Yeah, I have to say I wasn't overly impressed by the Australian performance. They did really well against Wales last week. I thought they looked a tired side last night, but that said, you've Michael Cheika returning to Dublin. His successor with Leinster, Joe Schmidt, with Ireland and Australia. You know, you never underestimate him. So many quality backs there with Folau, Adam Ashley Cooper. They've really been impressive in the last few weeks. They took a step back last night, but I can guarantee you they'll turn up here intent on a win next week.
For what it's worth, against a French side who had undoubted class, but there had to be questions asked about their fitness. There were a lot of cheeks being blown out at the end. I know it was a tough test match, but they did not look to the standard of international football fitness to me last night.
Well, that's been a problem, I think, for French teams in the last 2 or 3 years. Something they have to address prior to the World Cup.
This will be the final play of today, as Marmion will feed this Irish scrum, and is almost caught in possession, scoops it on, and Felix Jones, who got the ball, and a lot of Georgian bodies as well, and Rodney Ayew picks it up and bundles one or two away. Is there one more try? If the ball goes wide, well, it could be anyone, albeit from a long way away. It's Kilcoyne who scampers for another yard or two, and Rodney Ayew gets there, but that will be that. South Africa last week left us all on a high. Georgia this afternoon, well, at the end, it's job done, and some lessons learned, no doubt. But it's the goal of Australia on the horizon that now comes in to sharp focus. For the record at the Aviva, it's finished. Ireland 49, Georgia 7.